So hey everyone, because I'm dealing with lots of snow and ice still and I'm limited with the amount of construction that I can do, I decided that I would do a video covering the budget of this cabin so far, as I know that several people have asked for it. I've been doing this money counter, but it hasn't been really very precise, and I'm sure people that are just joining in right now don't have a clue about my budget. So at this point I will talk about the budget for the septic system, the foundation, the floor platform framing, and the walls. The walls are not all done yet, as you know. I have only framed 2 of them so far, but I bought all the materials to get all 4 done, as well as all my windows. So let's start with the septic. So as mentioned in the septic video that you can find here somewhere, I did have to hire someone to get the septic installed because you need a special license to have those systems installed. So you can see the cost here on the side. I had to get a permit, I had to get the test holes done, some more fees. I mean, you gotta love all those city fees, and finally the system itself. So all of that comes down to a total of $5,739. Ouch, just to get a big plastic tank in the ground. But if I wanted to have a bathroom, that was the only way. So moving on, foundation. So the foundation is the concrete foams, the rebound chairs, the rebound ties, some wood braces. All of that cost me exactly $888.19, which is not too bad, but usually, I mean, concrete is known for being pretty cheap. So let's talk now about the floor platform framing. So that is obviously covering a lot of materials, as I had to build a 6-foot tall platform on one side because my land is sloping so much. This would have been much cheaper and so much easier if I had a flat piece of land. So if that's your case, trust me, you are lucky. So this includes the columns, the wind braces, the main floor girders, the floor joist, the floor sheathing that I put on top of it. There are a few things that I bought here and I have not installed yet, such as the insulation under the cabin and the pressure treated plywood, which will be the soffit under the cabin. So I'm not going to read the whole list that you see below. It's very long and really detailed. As you can see, it includes a lot of fasteners, ties, nails, screws, pretty much everything I needed. So all of this was actually a whooping $4,927.19. Actually, it should have been a little less than that because I did bought some pressure treated plywood, which I thought I was going to use as floor sheathing, but I ended up buying some tongue and groove OSB instead because I was told that it would be better. So the total should probably be more about $4,500 instead. So now the walls and the windows. So this is all my studs, top plate, bottom plate, headers, wall sheathing, building wrap, and all of the 6 windows. So this should be enough material to build all 4 walls, and the total for all of these materials was $3,642. So as I mentioned, I've been doing a money counter, which did not include the septic, as I felt that not everyone would have to get a septic. So in this video I'm really talking about it and making sure that we're going over those numbers. So I'm including it so you can get an idea of the complete total amount I have spent so far. So if you sum up all of these subtotals, you get about $14,769, and that's when you realize that this isn't cheap. I do not have an idea of the total price it will take to be completely done because I've never built a cabin before, but I would be really happy if I managed to stay under $35,000. And I know, I mean, this is a lot of money, but if you think about it this way, I mean, that's probably cheaper than a lot of people's car. If you look, for example, at the most common car in the US, which is probably a Ford F-150 truck, well, if you look, a low end of a new F-150 actually costs $30,000 to $35,000, as you can see here. So the difference is that this cabin is a real estate investment and that it will be rented as a short-term rental, and I'm hoping that it will generate between $800 to $1,000 a month in gross revenues. So even if it costs me $35,000 to build, and let's say that it generates $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. So if you do 12,000 divided by 35,000, that's 34%. So potentially that's a 34% return on investment. Of course, time will tell if I can do this cabin under $35,000 and if I can actually generate $1,000 a month. So that's why you definitely need to subscribe to this channel so you can stick around and see if I'm going to be able to follow these numbers, and if I will be able to build it for less than 35, and if it went for this much, I don't really know 100%, and only time will tell. Let's talk about another tip on getting cheaper materials. So the way I did it is that I would put a list, very precise list of materials needed based on my drawings and my research, and then I would get quotes from Lowe's, Home Depot, and some local suppliers. If you go through the Pro Desk at Lowe's and Home Depot, and that I think you order over $1,000 worth of material, they will be able to offer you special pricing. And you can do this even if you're not a contractor or anything like that. I'm just like a regular guy. So for example, here I'm showing you a quote that I got from Home Depot where they will offer significant rebate from the store prices, which really add up and can save you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, on a project like mine. So to do that, it's fairly simple. You just need to call or go to the store in person and get the email to their Pro Desk employees, and you send them the list of materials. I even, following this strategy, I even went to Lowe's and got them to price match Home Depot, and they were just fine doing it. Like for example, let's say Home Depot was cheaper on lumber, but Lowe's had better pricing on some other items. I got the best of both worlds, and I got Lowe's to price match the framing from Home Depot, and then bam, I got really like the most competitive pricing you could imagine on a specific order. So another great tip that I've been using, it's something called travel hacking. And so every time that I have a big order coming up, let's say $2,000-$3,000, I open a new credit card such as a Chase, Citi, Capital One, Hilton card, and I use it to put my order to meet the minimum spend and to get the bonuses, which is usually 50,000 airline points, 60,000, 70,000, or 100,000+ hotel points. For instance, I'm going back home in France and I use those points to cover my flights. And instead of paying $3,400 for 2 tickets plus an infant, I only paid $400 and about 140,000 points. So if you think about it, I mean, I'm saving even more by getting those cards and using them to like travel with my family. And 140,000 point was actually, I opened 2 Citi cards. I think they had a 60,000 point bonus for 2 cards, so that's 120. And then you could transfer those points from Citi to Air France, and actually they were bumping up your point by 15% up, and so I think I got like 150,000 Air France points this way, which is what I used to like book those tickets. So obviously you have to be very careful in doing this, and you have to pay the cards in full every month. You should never do this if you do not have the cash available to pay those cards off. Like, we're not trying to get credit card debt or anything. You just get the card, meet the minimum spend, get the bonus, pay the card off, and then you stop using it, and then you close it off a year later. That's really what I've been doing. So I hope that in the next episode I will finally get to do some cabin work again and working on raising these walls, as everyone's been waiting for that. It's driving me crazy not to be able to keep working, but it is what it is. It's winter time. I have to deal with it. So let's just be patient, and I will see you next time.